Hello, kids.
Richard Patrick of Filter is here. We're on Clark Street in front of Metro tonight. Filter headlining the final night of Cold Waves.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
You've always been in that industrial orbit.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always been, what's the word, accepted by the industrial scene? It seems...
Wow. I mean, I don't know if we've ever been that accepted, but I mean, industrial was like... So back in the 80s, when I was trying to get a record deal at the age of 17, they said, oh, you sound too much like, new wave or something like that. And so I was really butthurt, and I was talking to my friend, and he was like, yeah, maybe you should just listen to different music. And I was like, okay. And then my friend Dave Soleil came over, and he played me The Land of Rape and Honey by Ministry. And it was as if everything that I loved about The Clash had merged with everything that I loved about synthesizers that had merged with everything that I loved about punk. And it was industrial. And then within 5 seconds, he's like, okay, so those guys, Ministry, are Al Jorgensen and Paul Barker, who I just literally videoed on stage just playing a few minutes ago at the Metro. And then I got into, in 1987, I got into this record that I stumbled upon called You Goddamn Son of a Bitch by the Revolting Cocks. And so I had really, really just adhered to this music. It was all like dance, but it was heavy and mean.
And dark. And then I really got into it, and I was drinking and smoking, and I ran into my buddy that told me you should listen to some new music. And he was like, I've got a record contract. What has gotten into you? And I'm like, all I listen to is Skinny Puppy and Ministry and the Revolting Cocks, and I don't care about anything. I'm a total nihilist, and I hate fascism and blah. And he was like, well, fucking A, dude, come and join my band. We're gonna go on tour. It's called 9 Inch Nails. And that was it.
And for us to play on that tour, the Metro, was because there's records that I grew up with, like the Greek Theater, Neil Diamond talks about the Greek Theater and Tree People, God bless you, I'm singing for you too. And then there's Red Rocks, U2 playing Red Rocks, and all of my friends have gotten to play those places. And I have not been able to play those places, but I have been able to play the Metro. And that's 3 on my list, and I at least got to play 1, and that was huge to me. And so I played the Metro back in 1989. I played the Metro in 1995 with Filter. Then I played the Metro again in 2006 with Army of Anyone.
It feels like you would have played Metro more, but I guess you blew up bigger because after Short Bus it was probably bigger venues.
But I was playing stuff with Q101, and we were playing, and the one gig that we begged was to do the double door,
right? And
there were some other shows, and we played the Riviera, which was another, in case you didn't feel like showing up, which was the other Ministry movie that I always wanted to do, but
talk about dangerous looking.
Yeah, and so it's a crazy night to be here, and I knew this was going to be off the chain, and I was really excited about it, and I can't actually wait to get on because we did a sound check today, and my voice felt like it was just the best it's ever felt in so long. So I'm just gonna scream like a motherfucker.
That's what we're counting on.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Yeah, It's. I feel really good, and I feel really excited to play. So.
Well, we're excited to see you. And what's interesting, this is an anniversary year for Filter.
Yeah.
Title of record, 20 years, which seems unthinkable.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Now, this is a record you said you barely survived making.
Yes. Oh, I was fully drug laden, just absolutely exploring the realm of addiction that I mean, I knew I was going to have to quit drinking and using alcohol and drugs, but I figured it's not as bad as it could be, because I wasn't into crack and I wasn't into heroin, and I was doing things like mushrooms and, you know, and other stuff. So it was a bit mind expansion-y kind of feeling. And I was in this massive relationship with Darcy from the Smashing Pumpkins. And that was a secret. And
so much so that I just realized that. Okay.
Yeah. So I was fully in this completely secret relationship with a girl that I was writing every song about, and like, you know, I'm Not the Only One, and Skinny, and just all this, just every time.
Skinny's one of my favorite songs off that album by far.
Yeah. And just every single song was about her, and she's like, Rich, someone told me I should get royalties. You write about me so much. And, you know, it was just amazing. And, you know, they were playing like stadiums, and she would come in and like, you know, come to visit me, and like, you know, secretly park her massive truck. She always had an M, like it's some massive F something, because she has horses and a stable and everything. And she's like, you know, parking the thing and like running over trees and shit, and like coming up to see me. You know what I mean? And I was like, I can't believe that, like, arguably the hottest girl of the 90s is like my secret girlfriend. And like, I couldn't talk, and it was just I just felt really special, and like, I can't believe my life has turned into this thing of like, you know, I was really making it. I was really making this amazing a record that has stood the test of time. And I mean, I didn't know that it would, but like, I was just super glad to have been a part of the entire scene in general, whether it was industrial, like we were talking about earlier, or just, you know, just rubbing elbows with Billy Corgan and Trent and all these, and all of this life that I've been able to lead. I've been insanely grateful that I've been considered a part of any music scene, whether it's the 90s or whatever. So I mean, you know, the fact that I'm back here at the Metro is just insane right now.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy.
So what do you do on an anniversary year? Are you gonna?
We're doing the whole record start to finish.
Really?
Yeah, and then we're doing like maybe a half an hour of like the other songs from Short Bus and Amalgamut and, you know, Jurassital and Can't You Trip Like I Do, and we'll do like kind of like a best of, you know, the past, you know, 15 years after that record and before that record, or no, 20 years. 20,
it's crazy.
25, yeah. 25 years of making music. And that's it for this year, you know. And then next year I'm working on a record called They've Got Us Right Where They Want Us at Each Other's Throats, which is just about the Trump administration. And I'm losing fans hand and fist, because I can't believe what's going on with our country. I can't believe
I can't believe that you're not that you're not allowed. I can't believe that people won't allow you to question things. That's where we're at in history.
We got canceled.
Right. In El Paso,
El Paso, because I said I was going to bash on the president. I was gonna not literally, but like I was gonna pick on the president, and like, you know, what?
Well, and here's
like,
the thing.
What? They canceled us.
This is a military town, but let the record show. Filter historically supports the truth. I mean, the irony is that
we're military. We are so fucking military. One of our bass players joined the military after 9/11. Then we had some in the years following 9/11. Then we had. I've been to Iraq. I've been to Afghanistan. I've played 20 shows in Iraq during the surge, like during when they were at war. We were mortared into Crete, to Crete. We were in Kirkuk. We were mortared. We had an attack in Bagram Air Base a mortar came in.
This sounds like the kind of thing that would put everything in life in perspective.
Yeah, but I mean, the reality is we were in an area where you could hear the combat, you could hear the you could hear there were constant like just moments of like, what? Like, filter hit the deck, like what? Like fully lying on the ground. Like, you mean a real? And a rocket, one of these cheap, weird rockets that the Taliban would make would land, and it landed 100 feet from where we were sleeping. So and it didn't go off. It was a dud, but it was landed. And this is the kind of shit these guys, this is why I have such a massive appreciation for the military. But the reason why, like, my grandfather fought in 1, 2, and Korea. So he was in 1 as a courier. He was in 2 as like in the rear with the gear, but still like part of the, the engineering and stuff like that went with it. And then 3, he was all the way up to a colonel in Korea. Wow. The reason why they fought was because I'm supposed to fucking bitch. Yeah. You're supposed to bitch and complain. The protesting of being an American and being upset at your country, not hating the country, trying to improve upon the country. Listen, the only way you're going to do anything is to make complaints and to better the country is to protest, and so it's had a very costly effect on my band, but I feel like everyone should be fucking up in arms saying shit against, there's some celebrities that are never gonna fucking like say anything about it because they're worried about their record sales or their streams and all their. So I don't know, that's what I learned from Ministry and Skinny Puppy and the Revolting Cocks and the Clash and John Lennon and Bono and Joe Strummer, and that was the whole deal, is to make the stink and flip off people and and be punk rock and get canceled. I actually, the cancellation didn't even bother me. Number one, I got through the grapevine, I heard that Carl Bernstein was like, "Hey, congratulations, dude! Good job, good on you." Like
Carl Bernstein.
His son Max is a friend of ours.
Got it. Okay.
And just amazing little nods from Pete Berg, the director, and my brother Robert, and hey, Rich, good job, and get canceled, and and that kind of stuff lets you know that you're on the right track, and that's what punk rock is all about, and industrial, and all of it. Comes from
rock and roll. Period.
Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll, man. You know what I mean?
So jumping from title of record, was Amalgamut where all the wheels came off?
I think so. Amalgamut was like, I'm trying to stay afloat with my drug problem, and I'd spent a ton of money on the record, and it didn't connect to me as much as I wanted it to internally, even though it's a fucking great record. It really is. Like the huge missed opportunity of The Only Way Is the Wrong Way not getting the push to radio, because that would have been a massive hit for us. But I was so sick from being on booze and drugs that I had to cancel the entire tour. And just as the record came out, and I went into rehab, and it was worst timing. But there's never a good time to get sober.
Of course.
But I'm sober and I'm alive, and I really wish like I could somehow re-release that as a single or something and put it out again.
2023.
Maybe 2023. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It was 2003, right?
Yeah. Maybe it could come out. Maybe I could redo it or something. It's but yeah, I mean, I also have music that I'm doing right now that I think is great. So you never really give up on anything.
I want to jump around a little bit. Staying on the addiction topic for a moment, you're playing Cold Waves. This whole 4-day festival is built upon the need to take care of people who may think there's nowhere left to go. Service industry people, certainly musicians. As someone who's been through all that dark shit, as someone who's come through the other side, what does it mean to play something like this? Above and beyond doing a headlining filter show, there's some heft to this.
The biggest, most important thing that I've ever been a part of is recovery. And every few days, I'll answer an email, whether it's on Facebook or it's social media in general, and it'll be a person crying out for help saying, how did you do it? And I just say the same thing. I said, dude, you gotta believe in yourself. But let me tell you, if I can do it, you can do it. And giving back to the world, especially all those alcoholics and drug addicts that are out there, it's completely possible to get sober.
Sure.
And that's what people, and it's never an option. Suicide is never an option, because we are on this tiny little ball, and we're just conscious enough to know that our life on this tiny little planet is finite, and this is it. We all won the lottery when our moms got pregnant. We won the lottery on trillions of different sperm and several different eggs that we could have ended up being. And here we are. We're conscious, and we're around, and this is it. This is it, baby. We got one chance to live on this planet and be alive, and don't give up, because it's it's hard. It's of course it's hard, but don't give up. Try to survive and try and understand where you are in this great, huge, amazing galaxy, this universe, and cosmos, baby. Get into cosmos. Learn about your place in the universe. It's amazing. So,
as much as we talked about your past, I do want to acknowledge you've been very prolific for the past 10 years or so. I mean, you've been really busy. In fact, I would say Crazy Eyes 3 years ago. I mean, that's a direct line to, as we talk about this industrial through line.
Yeah.
That's,
well, the newest record that I'm doing is fully, you can hear Ministry, you can hear my influences for sure, the influences that made me who I am. But at the same time, there's some slow kind of trap beats that I'm using, and I've always been a little bit of like, I like the Clash was like, hey, we're gonna do rap, we're gonna do reggae, we're gonna do punk, we're gonna do, and it was kind of like, that was kind of where I came from.
Yeah.
Like,
Sandinista is bonkers.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
I want to do Take a Picture. You know what I mean? I want to make that luscious, gooey, gorgeous guitar sound that like The Edge would do. You know what I mean? I still have, I still have a softer side. I still like doing falsetto, even though I can scream, so I think it's important to kind of explore those sounds, but I am getting angrier and angrier in kind of, I think it's like this new record that I'm doing, They Got Us Right Where They Want Us, at each other's throats. It's the first time I'm like fucking swearing in every song. Like I'm not trying to swear more. It's not some calculation.
Yeah.
It's just
pouring out of you.
At some point, like a motherfucker is gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna fucking swear during this administration, this fucking crazy ass shit. So I don't know, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I do. The other thing is you got to have a side hustle in this town.
And that's why you're a Lyft driver.
No, I'm not a Lyft driver, but I do movie scores. I love doing film scores, and
we first heard Filter on a movie soundtrack. Like,
it's always lent itself to being extremely cinematic.
Yeah.
So I've met some great directors, and they're just like, "Yo, dude, I've already temped in. Hey, man, nice shot to this movie. You know, I'm working on this movie. It's called Irene's Garden, and it stars Ryan Phillippe." And, you know, the director's like, "I've already temped in. Hey, man, nice shot." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, no, we're not going to do Hey, man, nice shot again. We're going to do this song. Like, what do you think of this song?" He's like, "Oh, my God, it's even better." You know, so it's great. I'm like, "Oh, okay, so you just want some straight up old school, like, Filter kind of vibe." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay," because I've been learning how to score for the past like 4 years. So, like, you know,
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
That sense of drama you convey in your writing that totally lends itself to film.
yeah, it's fun as shit. That's all I know. It's super fun. So.
Now, you are headlining, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, Filter is headlining Metro tonight. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because you have to get ready to perform.
Yeah.
You're talking about new music. Is the Pledge Music album, is that just going to be like your Prince Black album? Is that just on a shelf now?
That's so Brian Leesgang, who is just missing in action. He's just this guy that is just rumor has it he's in London.
Okay.
And he's with his buddy Tom Body and you know, he's one of these guys. I guess he just doesn't want it as much as I did. And I love him, and
a lot of history.
I hope he's okay. Seriously. So I took the songs from Rebus and I just incorporated them into.
That's what I was kind of wondering.
Because I can't truly finish the record if Brian's not around, and he's just never around. He's just this guy that's like, you know, he's done 3 records in his career, and I've done like 8, and I try and pump out as much music as I can, and I like to work really fast. You know, gosh, there was a time when Title of Record took 4 years to make.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was because, "Brian, what are you doing? Are we going to get together? Are we going to work?" And then he left, and I had to kind of rethink where I was in music. And then I worked with Ray DeLeo, and I worked with Gino a little bit on that record. But I've really had to kind of step it up and learn how to just be on my own. And, you know, I got away from the computer a lot during the last 20 years. But this last 4 years, I have just dove into the studio. Like, I've become a whiz at
You've taught yourself how to do stuff.
Logic Pro X, and I just won't rely on anyone. I just go in there by myself. My studio is so fucking decked out. I started, it's very humble. You'll see on Instagram, like, okay, here's my laptop, and then here's my desktop, and then here's my, I brought some guitars in from storage, and then now it's too big for my house, and I'm moving it into this commercial place, and now it's just like this, like, laser lit. There's just fucking Vibe Central, blue lights, and just all kinds of cool shit. And I just sit there by myself, and I FaceTime my friends and go, like, "What are you doing? Help me with these lyrics." Or, that's what Brian Leesgang was amazing at lyrics, because I was doing a lot of the music with him. He would send in tracks, and I would send in tracks, and then we would sit there and kind of work on them. But he would do these great lyrics, so that's something I miss from Brian. But, like, he did write, like, 3 or 4 songs with me on this new album.
And I think what you said, independent of music, I think that's where the world is at. I mean, we're all, in the internet, in the technological age we're in, we're all kind of figuring out how to do the things we do on our own. I'm doing a radio show in my car.
I know. And it's a great idea. It's a great idea. It's Little Pump fucking put it on his fucking website. It's, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And then it just went viral.
Right.
Billie Eilish started it with her brother, and they just put it on SoundCloud. And she's the biggest fucking... It's like 37 million Instagram followers for Billie Eilish. The chick is fucking 18 at the most. At 17. Like, it's really, truly amazing how liberating it is to just... People share It shares. It's just like if like, you know, it's just like when people word of mouth, like when Nine Inch Nails made it, or word of mouth when Ministry made it, or Filter, or you know, hey, you got to check out this band. Hey, you got to check out that. But it's so instant, and it's so.
That's it. It's the immediacy.
Yeah.
All right, Richard. Again, I don't want to waste too much more of your time. You've got a show to headline tonight.
I do. I got to go play.
Yeah. We love your band. We love you. Tonight at Metro, and then the title of record, Anniversary. Fuck yeah.
It's good to be here, and I'll be back soon.
Richard Patrick, go listen to some Filter. That's your homework.